44.
Monday night concert, some real country from Wade Hayes and the Rockabilly King, Carl Perkins. Woo, we're going to have a big time.
Put your hands together for Mr. Carl Perkins, the undisputed king of rockabilly. Hey, Carl! Woo! And my buddy, Mr. Wade Hayes. Hey, Wade! Yeah! Woo! We're restless.
Lord, I walked up to a window. I said, give me ticket, please.
What'd she say?
Where you going? I said, that's all right with me, cause I'm just restless. I gotta get on out of town. I gotta go back now. Take me where the living easy. Baby, that's where I'll be found. Get it, Ricky.
Well, honey, tell that driver put his big foot on the gas. Run this old great off just as long as it might last. Cause I'm restless. I need to get on out of town. Go right now. Take me where the living's easy. Baby, that's where I'll be found. Take us one, Carl.
Till that drive will take me further down the road. Take this old red dog any place she wants to go. I'm restless. I need to get on out of this town. Take me where the living's easy. Honey, that's where I'll be found.
Well, tell us all about it now.
The clothes on my back and my big guitar, I'm just restless. I gotta get on out of town. I gotta go right now. Make me where the living's easy. Baby, that's where I'll be found.
I was sitting at home with throat cancer in 1991, and life and the music business, the whole world had caved in on me. I was listening to a local radio station, and they said, here's an old Carl Perkins song, and called off these names by Ricky Skaggs, Vince Gill, Steve Warner, and Mark O'Connor. But when I heard these four cats Turn Loose on my old song, Restless. It really actually did as much for me as the radiation had been doing for my throat. I cried. It was a very emotional thing. I thought, my goodness, I didn't know that song was that good.
The legendary Carl Perkins when we return.
Hi there, this is Carl Perkins. Did y'all know that in 1992, the Ryman Auditorium celebrated its first centennial? Hey, let's all hope together that it has a whole lot more.
Well, Carl Perkins is definitely an original. His style of guitar playing, I mean, I hear a little of Chet, I hear a little Merle Travis, but I hear a whole lot of Carl.
Elvis was the first, quote, rockabilly. We called it feel-good music. I think the name rockabilly came out of Nashville. Back then, this was known as hillbilly music. You had Western Swing, which was Bob Wills and all these cats out in Texas and Oklahoma. But Nashville was hillbilly. And some of the guys here said, you know, them hillbillies in Memphis are rocking our music. And we did. Because I'd always speeded up Mr. Acuff's Gray Speckled Bird as a little boy. I used to hear it on the radio. And my daddy'd say, boy, you slow it down and do it like Mr. Acuff, or I'm going to put that guitar on a beat and it's over for you. And most of the guys that came to Sun Records back in the early years played that kind of up-tempo music.
Thank you very much. Visiting here with my friend Carl Perkins. And Carl, there's so many things that I want to ask you. You know so much about music, about life, about songwriting, about everything. Did you have any idea that when you started playing this, that would start just a sound, a style of music? Did you have any idea about that?
No, not really, Ricky. I grew up that way. I got my first guitar when I was 5 years old, and it was an old Gene Autry that had been painted. It weighed 40 pounds. It'd been painted every year.
Yeah.
Enough to discourage any little fellow, but I had a love for music. I said one day I'll sing on the Grand Ole Opry, and nothing drove me backwards. I just kept at it. The teachers felt sorry for me. They let me bring it to school, and I sang my way through 8 grades, and then finally had to quit and go to work helping my dad on the farm.
Yeah. You obviously touched a lot of people your own age, but you really connected with the young kids, and especially over in England, some guys named Paul, John, Ringo, and George.
Yeah.
The Beatles. Yeah. You really touched those guys, and tell us a little about that. I mean, I know you had a huge career in Europe.
Yeah, I went over on my first European tour in 1964. I went over with a fella who had not been over there on tour, a guy by the name of Chuck Berry.
We know that guy.
And the last night of that tour, I was invited to go to a party. Now, you got to understand, the Beatles had the #1 song in America, I Want to Hold Your Hand. And I had never met these guys, and I wound up at a party they gave for Chuck and I. And Chuck didn't make it, so they couldn't ask him questions. So I wound up sitting in the floor, and John, Paul, George, and Ringo on a couch, and they were asking me, hey, Carl, how did you kick off the right string but the wrong yo-yo? And I said, I forgot, man. Where did y'all hear this? And come find out they had a lot of my old Sun records, and
wow.
And could do them, man. They were great.
Well, I know they did Matchbox. Can you do a little of that one for us? It's one of your big tunes.
Lord, I'm sitting here wondering what a matchbox over my clothes. Yeah, I'm sitting here wondering what a matchbox over my clothes. I ain't got no matches, Lord, I got a long way to go. Let me be your little dog till your big dog comes. Baby, let me be your little dog till your big dog comes. When the big dog gets here, show him what the little Perkins does.
We did this one last year on the show, but we want to hear the real Carl Perkins do it. So just a little bit of Honey Don't.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, so how come you say you will when you won't? Tell me that you do, baby, when you don't. Put your arm around me, let me know how I feel. Tell the truth, my ears are over real, but honey don't. Well, honey don't. Honey don't. Hey, honey don't. Honey don't. Said you will when you won't. Honey don't. Goodness.
Carl's got the best laugh in the world, too. I heard a Paul McCartney tune one time, and Paul kept your laugh on there. It was so neat. I love that. Johnny Cash had a huge hit on a song that you wrote, and a lot of folks may not know that you wrote this song because he had the big hit on it, but it was Daddy Sang Bass.
Oh. Well, I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. There's a silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor people, that's all we were, trying to dig a living out of black land dirt. We get together in a family circle and sing out loud. My daddy sang bass,
Mama sang tenor.
going right in there. You sing and save every trouble soul. One of these days it won't be long. I'll be joined in many songs. We're gonna sing again yonder round the throne. Know that certain old folk want to be broken. By and by, Lord, by and by. Yeah, sing bass.
Mama sang tenor.
And little Richard is going right in there. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. We're in the sky, Lord, in the sky.
Yeah. Carl Perkins. Great, Carl.
Oh, man. Hey, you're welcome. Thank you. This is wonderful. Folks, we'll be right back. We got a lot more show. Don't go away, all right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
More great music from my buddy Wade Hayes right after this.
Here, see what you've been missing with Vision Blade.
Carl Perkins is a legend. He's really one of the founders of modern rock guitar playing, and he's influenced everybody. I mean, Bob Dylan, Eric Clapton, you name it. Just listen to Carl's performance of Lake County Cotton Country.
Much to me, Lord, I kept on picking my old guitar in the Lake County Cotton Country. I just picked it, man.
You can probably recognize that guitar sound, which has since inspired such musicians as the Beatles, Elvis, and many, many more. Wade, what do you look for in a guitar when you go buy one?
If I'm getting one for writing or for home use, I usually try and get a vintage guitar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like to find something that goes with my clothes. Man, Wade, we got Carl Perkins tonight.
Yeah, what an honor.
We better brush up.
We probably should.
We got about 5 minutes before we have to get out there and
Well,
rock.
I'm dressed and ready, so let's work on it a little bit.
Man, Carl Perkins, he knows when it's wrong.
Let's hope he doesn't.
For some young artists, success, especially early success, can be very tragic. Then you can take the first. Once you take the first break. But Wade Hayes, I think, has really done well to grow at a steady pace. He's got his head on straight, and a lot of people goes up a hat size or two. I think Wade's come down a hat size or two. He's a very humble guy. I think we're ready, man.
All right, we'll try it.
Here we go.
All right.
Carl, he's had it. He's had it. We're going to put him down.
Here we come, Carl.
welcome back. This is my favorite part of the show right here, when we can sit down on these steps and just kind of kick back, pull our britchy legs up if we want to. And man, that is some blue suede shoes, baby. I'll tell you, blue suede boots. You have to re-sing that song. My early influences, Bill Monroe and Flatt and Scruggs, Stanley Brothers, people like that. Who was some of your early influences?
I'll tell you, you just named a couple of them. You know, I always said, people call the early music down at Sun Records rockabilly. But there was a dear old man that graced this stage for many years that went right into my soul with his bluegrass, you know. I said, blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gone and left me blue. Oh, blue moon of Kentucky, won't you keep on shining? Shine on the one that's gone and done true.
Yeah. So that's where that came from, huh?
I'll tell you, Elvis Presley loved Bill Monroe's music. Well, that was his first record, Blue Moon of Kentucky.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we all did. Rockabilly music is kind of, we took some blues licks.
Hang on now. What'd you do there?
I don't know. Let's see it.
Show Wade one of those hot licks there, and let's see if we can learn one.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Wade. You go first.
Oh, my goodness. Now I am on the spot. Oh, Lord.
Oh, I'm glad you got to go first, Wade.
Anybody want to buy a guitar?
Wade, who was some of your early influences?
Well, growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, my dad was a picker, of course, and he had lots of stuff laying around the house, and I was with him, seemed like constantly, and all I got to listen to was country radio, and he had a lot of Waylon Jennings records laying around, and a lot of Merle Haggard, and Gary Stewart, Gene Watson.
Yeah, real
and,
country.
Yeah, yeah, and I was really, really into that at an early age, and after I got older and started getting out of the house, I really got into a lot of different kinds of music, and that's when I started going backwards.
Yeah.
And I got into Lefty Frizzell and Bob Wills.
Yeah.
And this fine young man right here.
Yes,
I
sir.
love this
Yes,
stuff.
sir. Well, I can hear it in your playing. You got some good stock in there.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh, awesome. Well, they just kick along. You're gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside, child, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burdens down by the riverside. I won't study one no more. I ain't gonna study one no more, Lord. I won't study one no more.
That's great. Well, you and Chuck Berry are kind of known as the founders of modern rock guitar. I mean, the stuff that you guys did, you know, I mean, even Chuck Berry cites you as a big influence in his musical creation as far as style of guitar playing, you know, and we just have, such a great debt of gratitude to you for
Oh, my goodness.
just hanging in there with it, you know. When times were hard, you hung in there. We just appreciate you so much.
Well, I cannot tell you, Ricky, what a thrill it is for me to have been asked to do your show. I watch your show at home. It's very classy. Anything this man does is real classy. This is a good man, a good soul.
Mr. Carl, thank you.
And this little new boy over here is going to step in front of a lot of these cats coming out, because watch out for this one.
That's right.
He's strong. He's strong.
This has been fun, but we got to run. We'll be right back after this fine word, okay? Y'all stay with us. Carl, pick a little bit out for this commercial.
That boy can sure play the guitar. Wade Hayes, when we...
Hey, I bet you didn't know that the Ryman Auditorium was built in 1892, and it was originally named the Union Gospel Tabernacle.
Carl Perkins, along with Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, and Jerry Lee Lewis, were part of Sun Records' $1 Million Quartet in Memphis. And I understand them boys had a thing for Cadillacs.
I mean, Elvis could be in the studio when I was recording. Johnny Cash would be sitting over there. I mean, we were a group of non-jealous people. And when one got a new Cadillac, everybody was so proud for him. There was one time, I remember, in 1957, there was 6 new Cadillacs parked down that street in front of that one little door at Sun Records. We had them all blocked. It looked like a rainbow.
John Lennon once said that there was no music before Sun. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but the early days at Sun Records must have really been something.
Welcome back, folks. Oh, you tuned in right tonight. Yes. Thank you very much. Here with my friend, Mr. Carl Perkins. There've been so many things happened, in the past, 30, 40 years of music. And, you've brought such a sound and a style that has blessed all of us. Don't y'all think? I mean, this guy has done so much for the business, and I really appreciate you so much. We all have looked up to you.
Oh, my goodness.
Any words of wisdom that you'd have for any young, aspiring artist out there, besides get another job?
Well, that was about to be my words. I guess I'd select a few words like this. Have your mind made up, youngster, whoever you are. And it's not a bed of roses to be in the entertainment world, but it's well worth it. When you lay down at night, wherever you are in the world, and after you've thanked God for that day, you can thank Him again to hold you meek, make you humble, and you never forget that without a great audience like you, we wouldn't be standing up here. We love you.
That's great, Carl. That's the Carl Perkins I know. See, I know his heart. And he's that away. God bless you, buddy. Carl is so well known for rockabilly, but when we heard the songs come in for the show, I heard this one tune that he wanted to do, and I couldn't believe it. It was so country. I mean, I've never heard you do country music. I mean, I've always heard you do the rockabilly type stuff, and that's what everybody seems like worldwide knows you for. But I really wanted to do this song, and I just found out too, you just told me this was the first song you ever recorded.
I stood on this great Ryman Auditorium stage in 1956 and sang. This was the first record I ever recorded. See, Elvis, the boy Elvis, had started at Sun Records, and Sam Phillips said, "Can you sing country?" I said, "Sir, I can try to sing anything if you'll let me make a record." So my first record was this next song.
Wow. And I get to play fiddle. Can you imagine getting to play fiddle with Carl Perkins? I mean, that's just like something you don't ever hear, Rockabilly fiddle. Here we go. Oh, this is a country song. Carl, you do such a great job on it. Here we go.
Thank you.
When you're all alone and blue, this old world looks down on you. Turn around, I'll be following you. When you feel that love is gone and you realize you're wrong, turn around, I'll be following you. Turn around, you see that your love is still for me. Turn around, I'll be following you. And when you're in my arms again, there won't ever be an end. Turn around, I'll be following you. Oh, turn around, I'll be waiting behind you with a love that's real, never ever die. When you feel love is gone and you realize you're wrong, turn around, I'll be following you. Turn your sweet self around, I'll be following you.
Carl Perkins! Wow, it's great. Hey, folks, tie on your dancing shoes. We're coming right back.
Last winter, after
I'm always interested in how great songs get written.
In the case of Blue Suede Shoes, I'd been watching this couple jitterbugging out in front of the bandstand. The girl was really a super-looking, great dancer, and the old boy looked pretty good. I hadn't noticed his feet. I ended the song that they were dancing to, and he said, don't step on my suedes. And I looked down, and he had on a pair of suedes, and she had stepped on the toe of them. But it rubbed me the wrong way. I thought, man, you fool. Think that much of a pair of shoes? Well, that's a pretty girl. And that's something I would have never done. I thought of the old nursery rhyme, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 get ready, and 4 to go. And I said, wow, that's it.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's 1 for the money, 3 to get ready. And don't you step on my blue suede shoe. Yeah, you can do anything when they haul on my blue suede shoe. Well, you can knock me down and you can step in my face and stand in my lane all over the place. Do anything that you want to do. But honey, they offer my shoes, and don't you step on my blue suede shoe. Yeah, you can do anything, but they offer my blue suede shoe. Down, step in my face, slander my name all over the place. Do anything that you wanna do. Well, I'm baby, they offer them shoes, don't you? Step on my blue suede shoe. Well, you can do anything, but they offer my blue suede shoe. Get it, Ricky.
night, Wade. Good night, Carl. You're still a rockin' cat daddy.